I'm the Rockhopper, and today I've seen the writing on the wall, and it's petroglyphs.
Tucked away, where the flatlands meet the hills, is an archaeological treasure known as the Parowan Gap Petroglyphs.
Here at Parowan Gap, you have numerous signs explaining some of the history of the region, not only of the Native Americans, but also of the Mormon pioneers and some of the geology story as well.
An ancient river once carved through here, creating what is now today known as the Parowan Gap.
This was the homeland of the Paiute, and they are the ones who created these petroglyphs. This whole area is sacred to the Hopi and the Paiute people.
These petroglyphs represent a wide variety of things such as the weather, sun, wind, rain, directions, travel, harvests, sun and moon, hunting, and some people would say Native American encounters with aliens. This sign talks about how they may look like art, but they actually can be interpreted as a kind of language. Some circular patterns down there. This sign talks about the settlement of the Parowan Valley. And this guy, Parley Pratt, who explored parts of Utah for the Mormon Church. This sign talks about wildlife in the region and how it's depicted in the petroglyphs. Wildlife is depicted in numerous locations of petroglyphs all across the Southwest. There's a large cricket there. I think that might be a type of Mormon cricket. A lot of inscriptions here depicting the sun. To the left of the petroglyphs is a very nice big Mormon tea bush. And if you watch my Tease Me Please Me video, you'll learn how to make Mormon tea.
There's a real nice sun right there. Most of these petroglyphs have fences, so you're not supposed to go in, but some of them you can actually walk right up to, like this one.
I just happened to notice these few. These petroglyphs are just kind of all over the place here, even in the smaller rocks.
Parowan Gap is known as a wind gap because the waterway that created it has disappeared. People have lived in this landscape for over 12,000 years, and researchers believe that the Indians known as the Fremont created most of these petroglyphs.
Well, that just startled me as I was reviewing a clip. About a 4-foot long, looked to be a garter snake, slithered right out in front of me. I didn't get a good look at him. That'd be a massive garter snake if it was, but he slithered off into the grass really quickly. Now there's just this guy, a whiptail lizard. Better be careful, whiptail, 'cause that snake might want to eat you for lunch.
Chief Walker, a Ute Indian, referred to Parowan Gap in 1850 as God's own house.
Canyon wrens are singing here. We may never know what exactly these inscriptions might represent, but it sure is interesting trying to figure it out. In the upper right hand, does that look like a depiction of a sun to you? And as for the rest, what do you think those might represent? Could these ones represent some sort of animals, do you think? How about these? What about that one in the lower center? Does that maybe look like an eagle to you? This cluster of petroglyphs is fairly intricate and detailed. Can you see all of them there in the rock? There's a plaque here in the rock. I won't read you the whole thing because it's a lot to read. But basically it says that these were created by the prehistoric Fremont and southern Paiute cultures. Apparently there's a lot of meaning in these petroglyphs. There's water, eyes, snow, all sorts of things. Can you make out what might be which? Supposedly, this could represent a woman's womb.
Spirals have representation to many different tribes. This looks like some sort of creature. What do you think it might be? Could it be a turtle, perhaps?
This one kind of looks like an alien from outer space waving hello.
I'm not sure what these are. Spirals, you got there, ribbons, lines. I don't know what else. Looks like maybe a snake in the lower left corner there, and I'm not sure about these other ones. This petroglyph was a tribute to the great chief, Three Balls Hung Low. He was very popular with the ladies and sired many children. The petroglyph in the middle is supposedly a cornstalk. The human-like figure to the left looks sort of like a wolf man or something. That looks like an upside-down jellyfish. Some sort of human-like figure there. There are hundreds of petroglyphs pecked in all throughout these rocks. This panel is on the south side of the Parowan Gap. That one in the upper left almost looks like a missile. And just over from that are these. Far above those are these ones here. And below those are these, including a couple of letters that shouldn't be there. And way down at foot level are these. The middle one looks kind of like a mountain goat. Would you say that looks kind of like a mountain goat or a bighorn sheep? The downfall with allowing people up close to the petroglyphs in an area that's easy access, like this one, is that people do stupid stuff, like scribbling and scrawling, scratching across the petroglyphs, which is totally not cool. Nowadays, pecking in your initials or your name or anything else like that is a huge no-no. Read illegal. What was this guy thinking? Was he trying to advertise his practice? He sure picked a long word, chiropractor, to have to peck into the wall. So is DAP still with JHP? In 1983, that's when they pecked that in there. Their inscription may have lasted longer than their love. Some of the inscriptions made by the early settlers are now considered part of the historical record, such as this one from 1882. This one over here reads 1939. I just spotted these on the south side, way up high. The longer you stop and stare at the rocks, the more the petroglyphs seem to pop out.
These ones are way up high on the north side.
And beneath them is this one. And still lower is this one, which looks kind of like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Another panel here on the north side. These petroglyphs were made by pecking into the rock, incising and scratching, or abrading. That looks like a lizard to the left. Some more along the south side. Look over to the right. Looks like a little alien dude there with antenna on top of his head. What do you think? Not far away from our little alien dude is a big alien dude. Some kind of snake-like representation there. According to a sign here, the spiral is a Hopi migration symbol. What do you make of these? The symbol down in the lower left hand almost looks like a guy with a bow and arrow. There goes a pronghorn antelope. They flash their rump. The white rump hair stands on end when they try to display that there's danger around. But there's no danger here. Just me. And she doesn't seem too worried about me. Another evening in paradise. I hope you enjoyed exploring the petroglyphs of Parowan Gap in Utah with me. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be informed every time I upload a new video. Until next time, this is a Rockhopper. I'll see you on down the road.